Thinking. Welcome everybody to another super special episode of the Killer Author Club. Tonight's guest is the one and only Chris Bohjalian, here to answer all the killer questions about his brand new thriller, The Princess of Las Vegas. We have tons to talk about, so grab your cocktail and your list of questions for Chris, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Thought you really loved me, guess I was wrong. Thought you'd never leave me, guess I was dumb. Waited like forever to be your plus one, but I guess you were done.
Hello everyone. Hello to our new members and to the OGs on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or wherever you're watching. We are so happy to have you here. And I'm with Killer Kara Ruda and Killer Kimberly Bell, and we are so excited to be welcoming Chris Bohjalian to the clubhouse to talk The Princess of Las Vegas and all things killing, of the fictional kind, of course. Make sure to drop your comments or questions into the comments, and we'll be scouring them to ask of our killer guest. Kara, would you please do the honors and introduce Chris to everybody?
I would love to. Thank you, Heather. Chris is an Armenian-American author who is the #1 New York Times best-selling author of 24 books, including The Lioness, Hour of the Witch, Midwives, and The Flight Attendant, which has been made into a Max Limited series. You all know that, starring Kaylee Cuoco. His other books include The Red Lotus, The Guest Room, Close Your Eyes, Hold Hands, The Sandcastle Girls, Skeletons at the Feast, and The Double Blind. His novels Secrets of Eden, Midwives, and Past the Bleachers were made into movies, and his work has been translated into more than 35 languages. He is also a playwright, Wingspan and Midwives. He lives in Vermont and can be found at his website or on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Litsy, and Goodreads. Congratulations, Chris, all your success. We all love this book. So welcome to the club.
Kara, it's great to see you again. Kara and I met in Southern California in 2016. It's wonderful to, well, if only be virtually together.
Yeah, you too. I'm so glad to see you. And seriously, we can't stop talking about this book. I think I read it a month ago, and I've just been thinking about it since then. It's so good, you guys. You're going to love it. So anyway, all right, we have lots of questions for you, of course. But first, could you give us the elevator pitch, please, for The Princess of Las Vegas?
Sure, the elevator pitch, so it's brief. The princess is fake. The murders are real. And yes, it's a thriller, but it's a slow burn thriller about two estranged sisters. One a Princess Diana impersonator at a sleazy off-the-strip casino, and her sister, the social worker whose boyfriend is clearly bad news. And can these two estranged, damaged women find peace in Las Vegas in the midst of mobsters, crypto, and corpses?
Sold. I know. That's a great elevator pitch. We love that.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh,
I think we needed about 50 floors, but it was okay.
It's awesome. Okay, Kimberly, can you introduce the killer cocktail, please?
Yes. So the killers love our cocktails and mocktails and tasty drinks. So every episode we ask our killer guest to come equipped with a favorite. And you can find the recipes on killerauthorclub.com under the tab Killer Cocktails. Chris tonight chose the Negroni as his special drink. Chris, would you like to tell us why?
Yeah, I discovered Negronis in the pandemic. Like a lot of us, in the first months of the pandemic, I rediscovered first my love of gin. And in fact, if anyone watching has read my 2021 novel, Hour of the Witch, I changed the name of one of the main characters in June of 2020 to Peregrine. Why? Because I was drinking so much Bar Hill Peregrine brand gin that I thought, you just got to give your booze a shout out. So I began there. And then, like so much of the world, I discovered Stanley Tucci's recipe for the Negroni. Gin, sweet vermouth, and Campari. Now, Stanley Tucci uses 2 shots of gin, so I do 2. 1 shot each of Campari and sweet vermouth. Now, if you're really good and you've got foresight, you, of course, will peel an orange slice and drop that into the Negroni as well. I didn't do that tonight, but I did the rest.
Very nice.
Well,
Very
cheers.
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 Amazing.
Congratulations on another.
I'm boring.
Me too. Tonight I'm a little boring, but we are with you.
No.
in spirit.
You are on day 8 of your brand new book. I'm surprised you are not just mainlining hot throat comfort tea.
No doubt. Oh my goodness. So we have the Killer Author Club. We started with Kara and Kimberly during the pandemic. So we did go to alcohol, but we decided to put a show with it as well, Chris. So we thought, how can we get together? How can we combine the two things together? Because we wanted to be able to interact with our favorite authors and let readers and viewers interact with them as well, including superstars like Chris and others in our lineup like Lisa Scottolini, Sandra Block, CJ Box, and more. And dates, times, past episodes, and so much more can be found at killerauthorclub.com. But tonight we're here to talk all about the Princess of Las Vegas, and it was named one of Elle's best and most anticipated mysteries of 2024. It received a star review in BookPage. It got a rave review in Kirkus, which we all know can be tough. They say entertaining, the untimely deaths keep coming. Bohjalian is very good at capturing both the dark underside of Las Vegas and the weird surface on which fake Aretha's, Sinatra's, and Michael Jackson's cavort. Diana Goes Vegas. And Publishers Weekly says well-calibrated satire of cryptocurrency culture and a blazing Tarantino-esque climax. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that is a very good description. So Chris, obviously you are a seasoned and accomplished killer. So now we need to know the answer to your killer question. Where do you kill?
It's a great question. And it all comes back to the first word, where. Do you mean geography? In which case, I've killed, fictionally, in 11 countries, including, off the top of my head, Russia, Armenia, United Arab Emirates, Germany, Poland, Italy, the United States, France, Syria. But I've only killed in 4 states: Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, and I can't remember off the New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, and I think Connecticut. Wait, Massachusetts. Excuse me. Anyway, so I've killed in 11 countries and 4 states. But if you meant where, in terms of a body part, well, I have, of course, strangled characters, shot characters, garroted characters. Characters in my books have died by drowning, nuclear explosion. Close your eyes, hold hands, and hanging. Now, if you mean where on the human body, every place from mid-shin to top of the cranium. And if you mean simply where do I write, right here, this room, this desk, this library.
I love it.
Okay, that was a very complete answer. I really like that. That was like
That was perfect
on our scale of where.
It was a great question.
It was a great answer. Holy moly, that was great. Wait, didn't you also kill Nevada as far as states?
Yes. Oh my gosh, Kara, thank you. Of course, it is right
More
here.
than one.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so 11 countries, 5 states.
There we go. Okay. Okay, good. All right, we've got that down. I love it. Yes. Okay, I still love the answer, even though now we've got Nevada included, so we're all good. Everything's good.
Absolutely. Yes. So we have this fake Princess Diana, Chrissy, who works at the Buckingham Palace Casino. And you give such a vivid description of this place. I mean, you can smell it, you can like feel it, just the whole aura of it. Where did this idea for the book come from, and why did you choose Las Vegas as a setting?
You know, the book began because I wanted to understand, why is Diana still in the zeitgeist 27 years after her cataclysmic death in a Paris tunnel. And I think there are a lot of reasons for that. First of all, the Windsors thought they were getting a kitten, and it turned out they were getting a lion. They were getting a woman who was able to defeat a millennial-old monarchy at their own game. I think her story resonates because if we were alive in 1980 and witnessed the wedding with the wedding dress train the length of the River Thames, we all thought it was going to be a fairy tale. Well, if it was a fairy tale written by Grimm, not Disney. And she was a great, great showwoman. Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, not Fergalicious from the Black Eyed Peas, once said of her sister-in-law, she is the world's best publicist. And she was. This is a woman who was dancing at the Reagan White House in 1984 with John Travolta to Saturday Night Fever and crushing it. A month later, she was dancing on the Royal Opera House stage with Wayne Sleep, Britain's premier male ballet dancer, to Billy Joel's Uptown Girl, and crushing it. And finally, for all her flaws, and who among us does not have flaws, she was fundamentally decent. This is a woman who was reaching out to men dying of AIDS in the 1980s, a radical act of kindness, and then was reaching out to the damaged, the dying, the disfigured by landmines in the 1990s. Again, a radical act of kindness. But I also wanted to explore Vegas, and common sense would have said these are two very, very separate books. But I didn't want to write about Diana herself because her ex-husband, her children and grandchildren are still alive. So that's when I thought an impersonator, someone who lives to be Diana. And where would that be? Las Vegas. And I actually love Las Vegas. And I think it's so interesting, that both Kimberly and I have, with our significant others, renewed our vows at the Little White Chapel in Las Vegas. And just as my lovely bride, Victoria, was walked down the aisle by Elvis, so was Kimberly. I love that.
It was crazy fun and very memorable for sure.
And Vegas is that meteorite that shoots across the night sky for all of us. My favorite Vegas moment researching this book was the first time I went back to Vegas during the pandemic. It's August of 2021. So a lot of people are still wearing masks. And, I'm wearing a mask, and I'm walking through the casino floor, and there are all of these people at the gaming tables and the slot machines wearing masks, but they have cut holes around the mouth for their cigarettes and their cigars, and so it is easier to sip their drinks. And you ain't seen nothing in Vegas till you've seen a line of people at a slot machines with holes cut in their masks for their cigarettes.
I think that was one of my favorite scenes of the book, was the one with all the impersonators, like Sonny and Cher. I can't remember them all, but that was so fun.
Sinatra.
Yes.
That was one of my other favorite memories. I went to a cocktail party filled with tribute performers. There's Michael Jackson, there's Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., 4 blokes who introduced themselves to me as Herman's Hermits. And I got to tell you, that's going to be a tough gig to be a Herman's Hermits cover band.
Oh my gosh. So were you writing it while you were there, or did you just have all these experiences and then go write about it?
Great question. I knew what I was looking for. I knew I needed to go to some seedy casinos. I needed to get off the strip. I needed to meet tribute show performers. And I'm really fortunate. I know the woman who plays Karen Carpenter in Carpenter's Legacy, which is fantastic. It is my favorite tribute show ever. Karen Carpenter and Richard Carpenter are seamlessly resurrected in a perfect reproduction of a particular concert. I'm pretty sure it is right now in residence at Planet Hollywood. Anyway, it's really good. So through Sally Olsen, who plays Karen Carpenter, I got to go to this cocktail party and meet these wonderful, amazingly talented tribute performers.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. And then they popped into the book later on. And then yeah, exactly. Okay, and I loved Marissa, the character of Marissa,
Yes.
Betsy's adopted daughter. So where did she come from? And we can't tell too much about her, but yeah, I love that character.
She was kick-ass.
Marissa is Chrissy Dowling, the Princess Diana impersonator's niece. She's 13 years old, and Chrissy's estranged sister, Betsy, a social worker, adopts her. She's a foster child and brings her west to Vegas. And it wasn't until this book tour that I realized two things. Marissa is the third foster child to appear in my novels. Secondly, a lot of my books, not that I want to use, the Killer Author Club for therapy, are clearly about homelessness and home and finding home. It's really interesting to me that so much of Las Vegas in this novel is about the new home for Betsy and her daughter Marissa and Chrissy, who plays Diana, who is essentially unhoused. She lives in a hotel room by night that the Buckingham Palace gives her, but it's not a great hotel room. It's not this kind of endless high roller whale suite that a Lady Gaga gets in residency. It's a hotel room with a college-sized mini fridge and a microwave. She lives in the hotel room and a cabana because she's such a mess that she works into her contract a cabana instead of more money, so she might actually have a home. And so to a certain extent, in the same way that I'm interested clearly in characters like Marissa, foster kids, I'm clearly fascinated by what it means to be home.
And I loved in the book, Chrissy, you also have a little reading nook for her too, that she's kind of set in the corner of her home, and how she's so proud of it. Really, she really loves it, and it, she's obviously very comfortable there. And yeah, it was just a really vivid picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a vaguely kind of Diana inspiration. Diana wasn't known as a great scholar. She wasn't. For example, all of the thank you letters that she wrote, and she wrote voluminous numbers of thank you letters. In fact, and she wrote beautiful letters to strangers too, one of which exists in the Diana Museum in Las Vegas. But anyway, she always at Kensington Palace had her own little reading and writing nook. And one of the things I find really touching about her reading and writing nook is she had by her writing table a list of all of the words she feared misspelling most. Vulnerable, right?
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Very.
Aww.
So when you were doing your research into Diana, I bet you found all sorts of obscure and interesting facts. But one of the ones that I pulled out from the book is how Diana used to smuggle her lovers in and out of palaces and guest cottages. Did you find out any good stuff? Like, how did she do that? Is that real?
Yeah, that is real. That is real because Diana, Charles essentially had one lover. Diana had many. I don't know if she had many, but she had at least a half dozen. And the goal was to get them in and out of Kensington Palace, either through the downstairs doors or in the back, hidden in the back seat of cars, smuggled beneath blankets. And the reason why she did that is because the Windsors wanted to shame her. I mean, the whole idea that she is separated from Charles, and everyone knows that Charles is with Camilla, so much so that among the phone taps, the infamous Charles Camilla phone recording in which he says basically that he wants to live in her knickers as a tampon.
Yes.
The part of that phone call part that was most horrifying for Diana wasn't that. It was the conversations between Charles and Camilla about where they would be able to snog next. And all of the friends of Diana who were aware of Charles and Camilla's affair and were allowing their estates to be the homes and bedrooms for the liaisons. Now, I don't want to paint a horrible picture of Charles. Obviously, the Windsors' sins are voluminous, but they're human. And Charles married Diana because he thought he was supposed to. And Elizabeth hadn't learned her lesson with Margaret, that you have to let someone marry for love. And Charles wanted to marry Camilla.
Yeah.
Tragic all around.
Really
And I
is.
think that's why everybody loved her so much and still loves her. She was, this underdog and people felt sorry for her, but she came back and she proved to everybody that she was much stronger and much, just a bigger person.
And one of the, and I don't want to be a royals basher, but one of the really interesting things about Diana's life is this. When during the divorce, she loses her HRH status, Her Royal Highness, that means she is no longer under the thumb of Buckingham Palace in terms of what kinds of public-facing charities she can work with. All of a sudden, this part of Diana you didn't see quite so much, you see more and more and more, and that is walking not once, but twice through fields of landmines, that have not been fully cleared. Yeah. And that was an act of not just public relations showmanship. That was, I want to increase awareness of landmines. And even though this isn't the Windsor position because of their connection at the time with the British government, I can do it.
Yeah.
And she did. And
she said she's no longer a princess. She's a princess of the heart.
Yeah, well, one of the things she said is, and this is why I love her, she said, I lead from the heart, not the head. And that's how I write. I write from the heart, not the head. I have no idea where my books are going. And while, we talk a lot about The Princess of Las Vegas as a thriller, what I was really interested in were these two sisters who are so damaged. And are they going to get out of this one alive?
Right. Barely. It's a great story, you guys. It's a great story. It's great.
So good.
And I think she's almost out of time. We have like all these other questions too.
I know, it goes so fast.
Shoot. Okay. I guess we'll have to go to the giveaway. I know people are waiting for the giveaway, so it's a happy thing, but I like so many more questions.
So many more questions.
Read the book, guys. It's so good. Okay. And it sounds like you're a pantser, so you just write by the seat of your pants. That's my last question.
I do. No outlines. When I do get to the home stretch of a book, I will set up 2 massive whiteboards with 3 colored of dry erase markers, black, blue, and red, so that I can make absolutely sure that I've done 2 things. I am tying up the loose ends, and is this the best possible ending? And I really want endings that are Aristotelian. Aristotle said the perfect ending when you finish the book or the play is both unbelievably surprising, and yet you say to yourself, it could not have ended any other way. So you want to combine surprise with inevitability.
Perfect.
And so,
I need to write that down.
Next time I'm writing my ending, I'm going to call you.
Oh my God.
Awesome. I have terrible endings. I can give good advice, but I am the gymnast. Well, no, here's the metaphor. I am the baseball pitcher who goes to the mound 30 times in a season, and maybe I win 15 or 18 times, but I'm knocked out of the box 7 or 8 or 9. I do not always stick the landing, and I don't even stick the beginning sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, and I think it's everybody. I think endings are hard. They're super hard.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, my favorite quote about endings is an Orson Welles quote. that I used at the epigraph for the lioness? Well, if you want a happy ending, that depends upon where you end the story.
That's
Here you
very
go.
true.
I'm going to say that to my editor next time.
Yeah, do it. Kimberly, do it. And then tell him, her, them that you've got cred because Elvis walked you down the aisle.
Right.
That's right. And Chris said it was good. It was a great
It's the
ending.
best. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Elvis in a karaoke machine. It's everything.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, we have to move on to the giveaway now. So, okay, Chris is giving away 5 copies of The Princess of Las Vegas tonight to 5 lucky US Killer Author Club viewers. Doesn't matter if you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel if you haven't. We scour the comments everywhere we stream, but please make sure to shout out where you are watching from so we know. Anyway, the question is, what is Chris's heritage? Ooh. All right.
If you don't know, you can, after the show is over, you can go back and watch that because you can find the show on all the places where we are streaming it now. So the Killers also love our indies and we want to support them in any way we can. So we ask every Killer author guest to tell us their favorite or favorites in this case, because Chris has selected 2 tonight. We have the Vermont Bookshop in Middlebury, Vermont, and Phoenix Books in Burlington, Vermont. Chris, can you tell us about these stores and why you love them so?
Sure, we'll start with the Vermont Bookshop. It's a bookshop, and you always have to say bookshop 2 words because owner Becky Dayton is very particular about that, and she's a brilliant, wonderful bookseller. The reason why I love this store isn't just the booksellers, who are unanimously perfect, but because Robert Frost used to shop there before going up the mountain to the Breadloaf Writers Conference where he taught in the conference he started. And there's this beautiful, thick, old kind of living room chair in the front of the store, and myth or legend has it that Robert Frost used to sit in it, and you can sit there and browse the local Vermont poetry sections. So that's the Vermont Bookshop. I love Phoenix Books because I've known the owners, Mike and Renee, the managers like Todd, forever, and they're not just really good people. For example, I've got a rescue dog I just adore, and Renee's a huge dog person, but this is the kind of wonderful store that, just like its name, Phoenix, essentially rose from the ashes. It was a store that wasn't supposed to exist, and now there's a Phoenix Books in Burlington and Rutland and Essex Junction, and there's the Yankee Bookshop in Woodstock, Vermont, and all of them are filled with booksellers who curate the shelves.
That is very cool.
Like heaven.
Yeah, I know. I want to go sit in that chair.
I want to sit in Robert Frost's chair. I know.
No kidding. Well, I just dropped the links in the comments, so make sure to watch for those. And I also dropped a link where you can follow it straight to buy Chris's book and any others on your wish list.
Including Heather's new book, which is only 8 days old today. You want that one too? It's fantastic.
Yes, and we also have huge news for Kimberly because her collaboration with several authors, Young Rich Widows, also hits the shelves today. Kimberly, can you give us
congratulations.
Yeah, tell us
and my gosh, that is a great title.
So this was I wrote it with 3 other authors, and I'm actually in one of their houses right now because we have a couple of events coming up tomorrow in Providence, Rhode Island, and at the Unlikely Story, which I can't remember where exactly that is in Massachusetts.
It's in Plainville, Massachusetts, just over the Rhode Island border. I was there a week ago tonight. It's fantastic. You're going to have so much fun.
Fantastic bookstore. So this is the print version and the ebook version of the Audible original, which came out, a year ago or so. And it is a lot of fun. It's set in the 80s. We will be back in a week to talk about it. So make sure to pop in exactly a week from tonight.
Right here on the Killer Author Club. Yes. And so, and as much as we'd love to talk about the zillion new books that are coming out, we only can feature a few, but we can't let tonight go by without, of course, talking about Kimberly's, but also we have another one to share. It's The Father She Went to Find by Chris Wilson, which is out today. A road trip to find closure or a reckless chase that could turn deadly. USA Today best-selling author Carter Wilson, delves into one young woman's spellbent journey to find a love that walked out the door in this tense psychological thriller about Penny, a gifted, sheltered savant set on chasing a ghost. So we'll drop that link into the comments as well, so you can check out Carter's book.
Yay. Congratulations, Carter. Okay, and as you guys know who've been here with us, membership has its privileges. So if you're on Facebook, check out our private members-only group, Killer Author Clubhouse. That's the place for really hardcore killers and where we share book recs and all kinds of things. We'd love to have you all join. Every episode, we choose a name from the Killer Author Clubhouse to win a piece of Killer Author swag, like t-shirts, hats. Can't put my hat on tonight because I have my tiara, but like t-shirts, hats, all kinds of swag, and all of that can be found on killerauthorclub.com. Tonight's winner is Legina Keisha Hagerman Reese. So please send one of the killers your address, and we'll send some Killer Author swag your way.
Awesome. Well, so Chris, we have really good news for you. You survived the Killer Author Club.
Thank you.
I mean, congrats. You sigh of relief, right?
I doff my tiara to the three of you. I'm so privileged to be with you tonight. Thank you.
Aw, thanks for being here.
Thank you. We loved it, and we know that you have a new one coming out next year. We can't wait to learn more about that one as well. But everyone out there, if you haven't already, go run out and grab The Princess of Las Vegas. You won't regret it. Great, fabulous read. And that does it for tonight's episode. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. And thanks to Chris for being here. We'll be back next week with something extra special. Our very own Kimberly Bell, along with the brilliant co-authors, Lane Fargo, Kate Holohan, Vanessa Lilly. They will all be talking about young, rich widows and desperate, deadly widows. So this one will be extra killer fun, April 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So in the meantime, find us on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and for all the information you need about schedule, past episodes, recipes, and merch, go to killerauthorclub.com. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Thanks, all. A pleasure to be with you. Good night.
Good night.
I get tired.